Well, hello, friends. Welcome to Where's Wilmington. We have all kinds of cool, nifty things to show you today. You can see Shift right here on this bin bucket. We're going to tell you a little bit more about it. We're going to learn a lot of cool stuff today. My guest is Nicholas Doyle, founder of Shift Compost.
Hi, Lisa. How are you today?
Welcome to the show. I'm good.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just jump right in, shall we?
Yeah.
Why composting and what is composting?
Well, composting is the deterioration of food waste, soils, agricultural materials. Why composting? Well, I was just looking for a way to connect with my grandfather after his passing. We always gardened together. I have very fond memories of him and I in the garden tending it together. He was always like self-sustainable, and I don't know. So the garden was like
A happy place.
When I saw a garden, I always thought of my grandfather. It was a happy place. Yes.
Cool.
So I decided to put a little 8x8 garden in my backyard. It was nothing crazy, just a few tomato plants, an herb garden. But I noticed the soil wasn't like ideal conditions. You could just tell. It just looks like gritty, dry, not great for plant growth. So I was just thinking of ways I could do it myself. Like I said, my grandfather was self-sustainable. So instead of just going to the store and buying a bag of like Miracle Grow or whatever they have, I wanted to do it myself. So I started collecting my food scraps. And through that, I just kind of spawned an idea in my head of, well, why doesn't everyone compost all their food waste always? Like, why isn't everything composted always? So thus, Shift Compost was born. I decided, why don't I go kind of like door to door with my neighbors, used our little neighborhood Facebook group, see if they were interested, and from there, we've been going strong ever since.
Okay, and it's called Shift. You have an interesting way of presenting the idea of the shift. Let's talk about that and why you're so passionate about it, other than your grandfather and how important it was to you and how passionate you are about it because of your love of your grandpa and doing all the gardening. But bigger than that, I think you have a bigger mission than that. So let's talk about that.
I think I do. So with making the shift, it is just it's about small habits, small positive habits that people can implement into their daily lives. I think making the shift, like you might not think of composting, like an everyday individual might not think of composting as the norm, but I think a little habit of just having this tote outside your back porch or your front door, and you just throw your food waste anywhere from the coffee grounds to the ends of like a zucchini. You throw that in, that might spawn, you might think of, why am I doing this? And it's like, well, it's a positive thing. I'm doing something bigger than myself and it's helpful for the planet. And that might spark well, I've been wanting to do this for a while. Start doing that. Make the shift towards a positive impact in your life.
Will it make me a better recycler?
I think it could.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it will make you a better recycler. There's items that you definitely want to put into your compost, not put into your compost, things that you'll notice, that's recyclable, that's trash, this is compostable.
Okay. You brought along some figures that are important to you about composting and about the shift. Let's share some of that with the viewers so they can get a sense of what impact you're really talking about.
Sure.
Go for it.
So this Thursday is, so Thursday is typically our pickup day in Wilmington. Okay. I'm excited to share that we're hitting a milestone of 500 pounds diverted from landfills, which is a huge number for many reasons. So 500 pounds of food waste diverted from landfills is about 138 pounds of toxic emissions in our atmosphere. So that's methane and CO2 that kind of damages the atmosphere, the air we breathe. That's equivalent to a car driving about 160 miles.
Wow.
So with the 500 pounds, it also creates 175 pounds of finished nutrient-dense soil, which can fit about 5 home gardens about 100 square feet each.
Okay.
In turn, making about 300 to 350 pounds of fresh food produced. And I think that is just an amazing milestone. With the time that we've been live, Shift Compost has been live, with the amount of contributors we have, the more we grow, the more good we're going to do.
Okay, so we are in September. We're at the end of September as we film this today, and you're going to announce that in a couple of days, the 500 milestone. How long did it take you to get to that number? How long has Shift been collecting the compost that got you to that number?
About 2 months and 1 week.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
So if more people were doing it, that number would grow a lot faster.
A lot faster.
Okay.
The impact would be a lot more severe.
Yes, I get it. So tell me about this bucket and what this means to me and how I would use it. And then we're going to do a cute little show and tell.
Sure. So if you make the shift, I'll come to your home. I'll drop off this bucket. We don't even need to interact. I would love to talk to any of the contributors who want to say hi, have a great conversation. But that would go probably on your front doorstep. That's where I would drop it off. You put it in the most convenient spot. I don't recommend keeping it inside, but I do recommend just right outside your door, wherever you find fit. You put your food scraps in there, and then weekly or bi-weekly, I'll come to pick it up, and we bring these to local farms. We donate the food scraps to local farms so they can utilize it in their fields to grow more food.
Okay, now we have the lid here. I won't put it on because it was pretty darn secure.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to actually hear that. Tell the folks about what we have to worry about with critters or anything like that, or smells. What do we have to worry about if we put this out for you to come get it?
Sure, so there's a lot of people who already do compost. They have compost piles in their backyard, stuff like that. I think that opens the door. If you have a system clear as day, you know exactly what you're doing, that's awesome. But I think it opens up the door to a lot of pests, a smell that you don't want, which again would attract those pests.
Right.
And having that too close to your house might be a problem. With the lid there and the type of bucket that it is, it keeps the smell in, and there's no infiltration of pests at all. It will reduce the amount that your garbage does smell. You won't have to bring that one little tiny trash bag out because it smells. You'll reduce your trash bag use, you'll reduce the smell in your trash, and I think those are great positive impacts.
True. So would I normally put this in my kitchen, let's say, and then once it's filled up, I put it out, or I know it's the day you're coming, and that's when I put it out? Would I use it in the house, probably?
I would say no. Don't keep it in the house. If you brought it in briefly because you were making a nice meal and you had a lot of the food scraps, like ends of tomatoes, an apple core, things like that, you can throw it in that, but I would recommend you keep it outside.
Okay.
Yes.
And obviously you're going to talk to the consumer and you're going to know exactly where they're going to leave it. Or it's pretty easy to see.
I mean, just like any other recycling or trash day, I do ask that the night before, I always send out reminders the night before to have that either just outside of your home or at the end of the driveway, just so it's a quick, easy pickup.
Okay.
I don't want to, if it's not visible, I'm not comfortable like walking around the property to try to find it. So I do ask them to keep it visible. As long as it's visible, it's just a
and
quick,
as you
easy
expand,
process.
you're not going to have time to be running all around everybody's gardens finding these items, right?
That is
But it's
correct.
pretty easy to see.
Yes.
So this bucket is, what did you say, 50 gallons?
That's 5 gallons
Five,
right
five. I knew it was something with a 5 in it.
Yeah.
So how many people, what size family would you say? And you have weekly and bi-weekly pickup options for
I do.
folks,
So
right?
right now our totes are only 5 gallons. As we expand, maybe we will grow into different amounts, a smaller amount, a bigger amount, especially if commercial contributors get into the mix, we will need bigger totes.
Right.
So I would say for a family or a home of 5 and above, weekly pickup with that 5 gallon tote is definitely the best option.
Okay.
Bi-weekly for everyone else, 4 and below,
Okay.
maybe just a single user or just a couple if they want to use it.
Okay.
That would bi-weekly would be
And
recommended.
obviously we'll look on your website for more information, which is?
Shiftcompost.com.
Shiftcompost.com.
Correct.
That gives pricing. It's very economical. And also it talks about what you can and can't put in there, which we're going to get to in a second.
Yes.
I do want to say, you told me before we started the program, you're not so much doing this to become a millionaire, although you wouldn't mind if it happened. You're doing it because you really want to make an impact on the environment. So right now, how many people in Wilmington, or do you serve other towns as well?
We actually do go all the way up to southern New Hampshire in Salem. So Wilmington, a few in Tewksbury, and then we have a couple contributors in Salem, New Hampshire as
So
well.
is your big dream to have one of these or 2 of these at every home in Massachusetts? Is that the big dream?
So this is something that I think everyone should be doing. Like most people already recycle. Recycling is not available everywhere, but most people recycle. Everyone has trash. You also brush your teeth every day. So I think this is something that should be implemented into every home. It's just another daily activity.
Maybe we should go as far to say it's the right thing to do. I
would say it's the right thing to
because
do.
those statistics you gave about the methane
Yes.
and how it impacts the air.
Yeah.
We want to be around for a while, so
No,
we want to make sure
I-
that we're doing our part. This seems
definitely
kind of
agree.
fun to me, though. My recycling bin is really big, like the ones, and I understand why they're like that. But I think this is kind of fun, kind of.
I think it's a cool opportunity. I also track every pound that I pick up.
Okay.
Specifically from one household to the next, and then I show everyone the group total. So that 500 pounds would be the group total, but I'd show everyone what they did that day, and then since they've joined Shift, since they've been a contributor, since they've made that shift, they have their specific number, like their and then the group number as
You
well.
know, you told me you were in school for marketing.
Yes.
I love that you tied in the marketing piece with the passion piece, if you will, because I think a lot of times I think about where does my stuff go and what impact am I making?
Yes.
So I think it's really nice to be able to see that I did my part, and that's really great that you're sharing that with folks so they can know what impact they're having, which I think would make them want to do more.
I would hope so.
Right.
I also have, as we grow, I have some fun ideas that we can implement where there's competitions about how many pounds diverted each month per household. That's just an idea I would throw out there.
That's awesome.
But that's just as we expand, maybe stuff like that can
Well,
happen.
we'll look for that.
Yes.
As far as the composting goes, have you been doing this through a full year yet? Do you find that in the summer people must compost more, or is it more in the winter, or is it the same?
It actually would be, I believe it would be more in the winter. So we have not cracked a year yet. Again, it's only about 2 months and 2 months and a week that we've been live. But I see that the people I talk to, they're more interested in doing it in the winter because you'd be surprised that some people a lot of people already compost themselves in their backyard.
Okay.
But again, like I said, I think that opens the door to the pests and the smell that we kind of...
Raccoons, coyotes, bugs, ew.
Yeah.
Yuck.
So
I'd rather see you than a raccoon,
why,
right?
thank you. I think in the winter, there's no really place to put that. It freezes over.
Makes sense.
There's still pests around, even though hibernation's like active. There's still pests around. So I've had people say, "Well, this is something I definitely do in the winter." But with the heat in the summer, if you have your own compost pile, it's great for the composting process of the materials breaking down. But again, I'm not going to.
Nope, I got you. So how long does it take? Let's say I have this bucket full, and we're gonna show some items in a minute, what belongs in here and what doesn't. Yeah. How long does it take for when you pick something up for it to become usable, compostable soil?
Well,
does it take 6 months for that to? How long does it take for that to turn into what we're going to use it for in our gardens?
Yeah, depending on the weather and what season it is. Yeah. It breaks down a lot faster in the summer because of the heat and because of the rain. But I would say anywhere from a month to 3 months, just depending on the volume of it and what materials are in there. Because for compost, you need about like a 75 to 25 carbon to nitrogen mix. And that's like the perfect breakdown so that you will get from food scraps to soil. Okay,
and we will get to in a minute what goes in there, but one more thing I want to ask you. Yeah. Okay, so you're driving around picking up all these buckets. What happens after that? Do you drive them all home and sit them in a shed and mark them so you know when they're ready to roll?
No.
Do you open it up and make sure people didn't put stuff they weren't supposed to in there? What do
you
do?
I do open them up to make sure, because I am donating them to local farms, and they have a strict requirement of what is allowed on the farm and what's not.
Right.
So far, I have not had any troubles. No plastics, no big bones, no metals, nothing like that. But I do like the dishwasher gloves, like the big, the ones that go down to here. I'll use those, and I'll just make sure, because I do want to be respectful of other farms that are allowing this to happen. I am donating, but so, and then those go in a bigger pile, and they turn it over, and it is becoming fresh soil as we speak right now.
Cool. Yeah. So when you deliver it to the farms to donate to them, is it in this sealed thing and you just give it to them, or?
It isn't the sealed thing. It's more of like
bucket. I should say, not a sealed thing. Is it in this beautiful Shift bucket when they get it?
Yes, it is. I do pour it out for them.
Okay.
And go on my way. I hand wash these currently. That's the process.
This is such a labor of love for you.
I do enjoy it.
Yeah. I can tell you're excited about it. Yeah. Let's get the people at home more excited. So I'm going to pick up some items here, and you're going to tell me whether they are compostable or non-compostable. Is that what we would say?
Yes.
All right. Everybody's favorite, paper towels.
Paper towels, I would say 90% of the time are a yes.
Okay.
It's just paper. Especially the roll inside of it is cardboard, which is fantastic.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
It's a fantastic carbon source.
All right, so we're going to put that in.
Yes.
There we go. That was fun. Okay. This is pretty obvious.
That is obvious. Yeah. Anything that grows goes into the Shift.
Okay. And one of the things I learned from looking at your Facebook page was that you made a cute little anecdote about how when your veggies kind of get icky in your fridge and you have to throw them out because you didn't use them quickly enough. It's kind of fun to be able to just throw them in here. Yeah. I don't have to really worry about anything extra. It just goes right in. Gotta love that. All right, we'll put it in. Okay, what about this? This is my handy dandy little pastry container.
So
what about this?
Most cardboard boxes are compostable. A pastry container like this is most likely not, because there is usually a plastic film, especially you can just see
the middle
this
section
plastic.
too.
But the plastic itself, it's like a bleached white type of material. When you feel it at home, you'll be able to tell that what you're feeling is not just paper.
Yeah,
I would say that this is not compostable.
I think that's coated with something glossy to make it prettier, right?
Yes.
Because I'm looking at the white here. If this were just that, it would be compostable, but because it's got the shiny glossy stuff, that's a no?
Yes.
So no, you can't go
Not
on the trip with your
compostable.
other friends. Goodbye. All right, what about this? Oh, I have millions of these in my house.
Market basket or any paper bag is definitely compostable.
It's okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it. All right, in it goes. Okay, not even full yet. Look at that. Well, I'm only a party of one. All right, how about this little guy?
Another obvious one, just like the banana.
Yeah.
I would recommend eating the banana or making banana bread out of the brown banana before you throw it away. But the peel, definitely, please.
And we
compost
certainly
it.
didn't want to open it and then have it getting all icky while we were on the air. But
No.
we would have eaten the banana and we would put it in here.
Yes.
Okay. These two last items are very interesting to me. I would have said yes to this.
A paper plate, most people would say yes. But again, just like the pastry container, there is a shiny film, plastic film on top of it. It is not compostable.
All right. It doesn't get to go with its friends.
It does not.
This one, too, fascinating to me. I have lots of receipts, and I would think, well, this is just paper with some ink on it.
It really isn't paper. It's mostly plastic. That is mostly
No.
a plastic made.
For real?
Yeah,
But it
looks like
doesn't
paper,
feel like it.
There's like a shiny, especially on the back,
Yeah?
you'll feel like a shiny
yeah.
little material that is.
Wow. So that's a no.
It's a no.
All
Not
right,
with the
well,
friends.
It doesn't get to visit you. And then obvious other items. You said earlier, I think you mentioned zucchini and any kind of vegetables and stuff like that. What about like meat?
Meat's tricky. Again, it depends on the farms that I'm working with right now.
Okay.
As we grow, maybe that will become available. As right now, no. But there will be like a clear announcement when that is ready.
And very obvious, but let's just say it. No batteries.
No batteries. No metals. No plastics.
No metals. And you mentioned the bones earlier. Did you? Are those compostable?
So small bones like fish bones and
what about like chicken wing bones?
Those can work when you get into like turkey legs and like red meat bones. Those are
interesting.
It doesn't. They don't break down properly.
Yeah, and probably not quick enough because when the farm gets it, they must have to sift it a little bit.
Yeah.
They can't just dump it on the land, right? They have to kind of
it's a process of flipping it over itself, like you were making bread, like you kind of like flip it over itself and stuff like that. You got to flip it over, and just through the temperatures and hopefully with enough rain, it kind of breaks down.
Are farms open to the idea of you bringing this to them?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because it doesn't make it easier for them?
It does make it easier for them. They're getting more like nutrient rich materials for their soil. And the more people that compost, the more food that they can grow.
True.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this before we went on the air, and you're not there yet, but just in case people are thinking about it. If I did use your service, which again is very economical, and we can look that up on your Facebook page or the website, right? Which the website is shiftcompost.com
or .org. We have
both.
We have both.
Fabulous. So if someday I wanted to maybe say, can you bring that back to me so I can use it in my own garden?
Yes.
Possibly, if enough people make the shift, then you'll be able to do that.
Yeah, if enough people make the shift and we are able to have our own facility processing our own soil, definitely. I would say by early spring, that finished fresh compost for your garden or just a little potted plant, just to kind of show well, this is like my impact, that'll be available for sure.
Just curious, and you may not know, and if you don't, we'll look it up and we'll let our viewers know.
Absolutely. I mean, another goal of mine is putting, like I have an 8x8, even smaller, a little bit bigger, in like gardens and people's yards. I mean, it's just like instead of having to go to the grocery store all the time, you can just go outside, grab some fresh fruit, grab some fresh vegetables, and just make the meal at your home.
I love it. So what I was going to ask you is, are other states a little better at it than us? Or how is Massachusetts doing, do you think, composting-wise? Is this catching on throughout the whole country,
I think it's catching on. As you go out west more, it depends on. It really does depend on the state. The drier states, they're not as good as it which I'm surprised because it gets more warm,
Right.
which again increases the smell.
Well, I would think they
increases
would
the
have
pest.
more of a 3-season because it's warmer,
Yeah.
where we have the winter. But no, you said
Yeah.
the winter they use it more. So
Yeah.
so everybody should just do it.
I think everyone
That's
should just do
that.
it.
Everybody
Yes.
should just make
Make the shift.
the shift.
Make the shift today.
Right? Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to say to our viewers today or share with us that I didn't touch on yet?
No, I think we touched upon a lot. I'm excited to just get the name out there. I hope everyone does make the shift. I think this goes a lot farther beyond me and our contributors. I really do think this could have a positive impact on everyone's life. If we're reducing the amount of methane in the air, we're going to be here a lot longer if we can keep the
Right.
Earth healthy. We only get one Earth.
Right.
We only get one life, and
True.
I hope to have generations after me be able to stay on this healthy Earth and the beautiful national parks that we have, and just the beautiful country and the world that we live in.
Right, I love that. I love that. And eventually, this will be like recycling feels to us, because I'm a lot
Yes.
older than you, and I remember when recycling first started, and it was like, wow, this is a new thing. But eventually, the shift will just be like everything else that we do once we get the word out.
I
right?
hope so.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for watching today's program, Where's Wilmington? And don't forget, the next time somebody asks you, where's Wilmington? You tell them right here and right here on WCTV. Make the shift.